The more I get thinking, the more I'm thinking I would not be shocked if Shedeur Sanders went out there and had a good season. Now I'm not gonna get carried away. I'm not gonna get crazy while saying that, right? Like, I'm not expecting Shedeur, if he does start, let's say do something crazy with Deshaun Watson, start Deshaun Watson instead. But if Shedeur is the starter, I would not be shocked if he went out there and had a solid season. I don't like if you look at the Browns last year, you look at their weapons. Honestly, anybody outside of Judkins, in whenever Njoku was healthy, I don't feel like Shedeur, along with Dylan Gabriel earlier on in the year, I don't really think that their options on offense as weapons were really all that impressive, let alone I don't really feel like it helped elevate their game at all. And so I look at the Browns in this upcoming season, and I'm like, okay, well, you'll need to add more weapons on the outside. We'll see whenever Judkins gets back. I haven't looked at that, but I just think that, obviously you have Todd Monken coming over. You're getting rid of Stefanski. Stefanski went over to the Atlanta Falcons. Dude, Todd Monken. So there were a lot of people talking about Todd Monken. I understand he's a little bit of an older head coach, right? He's like one of the more older head coaches that we've seen, right? But if you look at Lamar Jackson between the year of 2023 to 2025, Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens were balling. They were balling, dude. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like it was all him, because a large portion of that is just Lamar. I mean, Lamar is a literal star QB. But if you watch the Baltimore Ravens and you look at the film, honestly, that dude can call a pretty damn good offense. And so, I just look at the scenario where Shedeur's getting Todd Monken, and I'm like, dude, we're talking about one of the most accurate QBs in college football of all time. I don't think that just goes away. I don't. Dude, I remember even when Mariota came out of Oregon, whether he was good or bad, you can talk about that. We all know how his career's been, right? He's been a backup for the last little bit. But I still feel like Mariota, there were points it was just like, oh yeah, dude, you can see it. The shit that we'd see in college was the same stuff that we're seeing in the NFL. Not all of it translated to the NFL, right? Or else he would have been that guy who was that number one pick. Was Mariota a number one pick, or was he the two? Was it Jameis Winston then Mariota? I'm trying to remember. But yeah, dude, I just think that Shedeur, with all the uproar and everything that we heard this last year, it went exactly how I thought it would. I was like, sooner or later he'll start over Dylan Gabriel, right? Dylan Gabriel's not going to be the QB for the remainder of the year. Sure enough, he did. It was just like a weight thing. It was like, Shedeur, just sitting there, do your thing. Sure enough, he ended up starting. And I'm also not going to be one of those people that's going to sit there and glaze like he was incredible. Or even to the point of oh, well, he showed that he should be the guy going forward. I'm like, it wasn't pretty. It was, he had 7 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. I think I watched the Browns actually a decent amount this past year. I think I watched about 4 games, dude. And, there's a lot of things to talk about within the Browns, offense, defense. But on the offense, I was like, you can see the big play capability from Shedeur. You know what I mean? You can honestly tell that it's there. Does he hold on to the ball a little bit too long? Yeah. I do think so. You could put that in part with the scheme, along with just the weapons not being able to get open, not being able to get separation. There's just a lot of things you could tie into it. But I really do think that with Todd Monken going there, I could legit see Shedeur Sanders having a pretty damn good season. All the haters that talked about Shedeur, I could see him silencing a lot of people that have their doubts and have literally no faith in this young man. I do. But we'll have to see. There's plenty of things he needs to clean up in his game. We'll have to see what happens with Deshaun Watson, because if Deshaun Watson gets in the mix, then all things are off table. I just don't know where the Browns will go with that. You got the GM probably probing. You got the owner probably getting in the mix as well. There's just a lot of things going on with the Browns. The owner's a whole other conversation. But it was funny. I seen that clip of Phil Yates talking about how the Browns should possibly take a QB in Mel Kiper, which I'm honestly shocked. I must have not watched Mel Kiper during the draft process of this last draft. Like, was he hyping up Shedeur? Please let me know down in the comments, because just the fact that he was like, no, the Browns don't need a QB. They got Shedeur Sanders. I was like, oh shit. I was like, Mel obviously believes in Shedeur, and there are plenty of people that do. But I think this dude, if he takes this offseason very seriously, and if Monken goes in there and like kind of does what I think he could do, I would not be shocked to see Shedeur kind of like raise his game. And we're talking about a dude that's not, like I said earlier, he's not a Lamar Jackson. But is he athletic? He's decently athletic. Like Lamar, I almost said Lamar. Shedeur's decently mobile. Like, he can move, dude. He's not a statue. Now is he the guy that's gonna go out there and give you like 30, 40 rushing yards every single week? No, he's not that guy. But he is athletic enough to extend plays within a Todd Monken offense, which I know is going to be, we've seen him get a little bit weird at the run game at times, but I'm expecting them to run. I'm expecting the passing concept to be crazy. David Njoku's not back, so they'll need to figure out the tight end situation, because they'll definitely want 1 to 2 good tight ends in that offense. So we'll have to see what happens. But Shedeur, don't count him out just yet. I think things could get very interesting in the first 3 to 4 weeks of this upcoming year. That's when we'll really see it. But hey, we're gonna keep talking about the Browns all off season, and I don't know, you guys let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Be sure to drop a like, subscribe to your boy. Appreciate you watching. It's your boy Shady Luke, and I'm outie. Deuces.